The challenge is going to be, how in the world do you know what anyone's done? Professor writes a new book. Well, did he? Did your pastor develop his sermon Sunday?
So you have people writing blogs where they're just, it spits out the content for them.
So no, we're in deep water here.
The robots are taking over. They're taking over. Artificial intelligence is running wild. So what do we do as Christians? Well, Al Mohler was asked about this recently, and I'm going to play some of that and give some thoughts. You'll want to make sure you stick around. Here it is.
So another issue, completely unrelated, but a big one, is artificial intelligence. This has been creeping up, and it's coming out of nowhere almost for a lot of people. Right. This new technology, a lot of questions about what it means for humanity. But how should Christian leaders be responding to this? Because people are looking for guidance.
Right. Well, one of the problems of the whole issue of artificial intelligence is that landscape could change before I get to the end of this sentence. And that is because even in the last several days, we've seen evidence of the fact that people are saying, okay, there are new capabilities and there are new moral dimensions. This is a truly frightening prospect. And I don't say that about everything. I mean, this is a truly frightening prospect because what we don't know, we don't know. And this really is setting something loose in the lab. And if you allow computers to have these forms of algorithm-driven intelligence and then to mass the power of nearly, it's not infinite, but you could say beyond our imagination, seemingly infinite, array of these thinking machines, well, by definition, we're going to be in big trouble. For instance, militaries all over the world are very concerned about these autonomous killing machines now, because we actually have some in our own arsenal right now. We have drones that are making decisions about targeting before any human being's thinking is involved.
It's terrifying on so many levels when you think about it.
Making decisions about who to target, who to shoot, who to kill before it ever reaches a human. These are deep things to think about. And that's why in every sci-fi movie it always ends with destroy the killer machine, because it's just better not to have the technology. Technology is great until it reaches a certain point where you're just like, no, there should not be technology that gets that out of control. It really is a serious issue.
It's terrifying on both ends of that equation, because what's to say someone doesn't turn that against us,
right?
And look, I'm a institutional president of a seminary and of a college. Here's a true test. How do you know if this is a student's work or not?
And you can see, you put in one thing and it gives you an entire paper.
We have wonderful Christian students, but the whole process against education, is going to be, the challenge is going to be, how in the world do you know what anyone's done? Professor writes a new book. Well, did he? In other words, you look at this and you recognize, okay, these are huge issues. Okay, so one of the big realities is that, and by the way, our entire economy is based upon the fact that intellectual property is owned. If you write a book, it's your book, or you own the copyright, you own the rights to it. No one has the right to steal your book. Well, what if a computer wrote it? Is it yours? Was it your computer? In other words, all this, and then how do you prove that? So no, we're in deep water here. Oh, did your pastor develop his sermon Sunday? Or did an artificial intelligence develop this?
And that's the question. Plagiarism is a major issue here. I did an episode on that. You'll want to watch that episode when this is finished. I'll link to it, where I do include a part of this clip, and you just want to see it. I talk about it a lot more there, but it's a major issue where you have pastors that think it's okay to use AI, implement it into their sermon prep, and just have things written for them. You have, that's before this, we had pastors who were well-known pastors who were going and paying large companies to do it for them, but now they'll just go to ChatGPT. And you have authors who are writing books, you have people writing blogs where it spits out the content for them, and they might do some edits, but it just gives them the source material, and it's very, very concerning that people don't see an issue with it. And it is going to be something that legally, in terms of copyrights and all of this, like there needs to be something done where a person cannot present ChatGPT's stealing of other people's work, because that's what it does. It didn't actually create it itself. It created it off of the source material of everything on the internet before 2021. So whatever they're getting from the robot and acting as if it's theirs, they can't copyright that. That is the case right now, that they can't actually copyright it. But how do you know? Those are the things. Like how do you know? I know that we're getting into real sophisticated territory there, but it's going to get harder and harder to find out, to know the difference. Let's get back to it.
Now, I also want to say Imago Dei has to play a giant role in our thinking here. The fact that God made human beings in his image. We are image bearers. So I believe, number one, that a computer can already do math better and faster than I can. Okay, that's not a tremendous challenge, but I'll just tell you, if you're going to add up 21, 7-figure sums, the computer's got it instantly. I've got a lot of work to do. Okay, and I got to check it 2 or 3 times. But when it comes to aspects that are relational, aspects that are conversational, aspects that get to our deepest commitments, it's not yet clear what artificial intelligence can do with that. So the specter of science fiction is you have feeling machines. There is no such thing as a feeling machine. There may be a machine that mimics feeling. We're not merely feeling machines. We're not merely machines that mimic feeling. We're made in God's image. And so there has to be a distinction there. But keeping that distinction straight, and by the way, defending human dignity is going to uniquely fall upon Christians, because the world is cashing out its ability to argue for human dignity.
And that's going to be a huge issue as AI develops. Absolutely.
Right. So why pay you if I can buy your machine?
Exactly. I mean, no, it's so true. It's so true. All right.
Oh, no, I wasn't sharing my screen. Well, I may need to re-record that or figure something out. I bet if I had a chatbot assistant monitoring my recording, that wouldn't happen. All right, back to the end of the show. You want to watch to the end. But it's a big issue. Human dignity. We do need to remember Imago Dei, we're made in the image of God. And no matter how much this advances and how much there's feelings being mimicked and pushing for then, robot rights, they're not humans. No matter how much they can act like humans, no matter how much their feelings can mimic humans, when we get there, and we will get there, there's going to be a constant pushing for what reality is, and what's fake, what's not reality, what's what's a fantasy, and that's the idea of a robot being a human. So yeah, interesting stuff and interesting times. We've been watching Truth Transforms. If you're new here to Preaching for God's Glory, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for content to help you walk in the Christian life. The goal of Truth Transforms is to transform hearts and transform minds through the truth of God's Word. Don't forget to like this video, reaches more people, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.